Good morning. This is your pre-algebra math lesson for April 14th, and it's Tuesday, and we're moving into a new chapter. We are on 14.1 today, and we are going to be going over the different types of a polynomial. Okay, so we're going to be really getting into some algebra in this lesson as we move past shapes. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is what a monomial is. Mono actually means one. So a monomial is a term that is all together. It doesn't have plus signs and subtraction signs because that's what we're going to use to space terms, okay? So if I gave you 6x squared, this is a monomial because this is one term. It belongs all together, okay? Now, negative 2/3 y, and you can look at some of the other examples of the monomials, okay? Notice that this is a negative number, but it's not an addition or subtraction sign in between terms. That's what's going to separate and change it from a monomial to a polynomial. Now, if you'll remember, poly, like in polygon, poly means many, okay? So this is going to be more than one. So when we do a polynomial, we could have two terms. We could have 3x plus 2. Now notice that this is a term and this is a term. So if this was by itself, it would be a monomial. This would be a monomial, but we have two. Notice it's separated by this plus sign. Okay, so that's really important to notice. So monomials are just one, okay, not separated by a positive or negative. And this is really important to note as a part of your work, okay? Now, I'm going to get this one, we would say this one has two terms, okay? So now I'm going to give you a three term. 2x squared minus 5x plus 9, okay? So be thinking to yourself, how many terms does this have? Well, this is a term separated by the subtraction sign. This is a term separated by the subtraction sign. And this is a term. So it has three terms. Okay? So monomials, polynomials. Okay? And then we tell you how many terms it has. Now, a binomial, they give you, which this one is not as important. Think about a bicycle. It has two wheels. So binomial has two terms. So this is a polynomial, but it's also a binomial. Okay? And then they give you the definition of a trinomial. Think of a tricycle. A trinomial has three terms. Okay? So we have monomial, we have a binomial, we have a trinomial, but anything over one is a polynomial. Okay? All right. So let's keep moving on with these. Let's see. Let's look at the definitions of the degree of the term. All right. So if you look in, do you see this little box here that under your definitions? Okay. What we have to do is we have to count up the exponents, okay? So the degree of the term is the sum of the exponents of the variables contained in a term that is the degree of the term. That's really confusing. The degree of the polynomial is the highest degree of any individual term, okay? So let's just break that down. When we look at 2, okay, then we look at the exponent. Does it have an exponent? No, and you're going to be tempted to say it has an exponent of 1, but it doesn't. It's a 0 up here, okay, which equals, so the degree of the term is 0, okay? So if it doesn't have an exponent, it has a 0 degree, but that means that it equals 1. Interesting, doesn't it? Anything to a 0th degree equals 1. That one's a little bit harder to understand. Just hold on, we'll keep going. Okay, so 3x, okay? Now, x has an exponent of 1 that's understood. It has 1 degree, okay? All right? So then let's look at the next one is negative 2x squared y. Now here, the x has, so we have to think about the 2 having a 0, because the 3 had a 0, right? 0 plus 1 is 1. The 2 has an exponent of 0. The x has an exponent of 2, and the y has an understood exponent of 1. Okay, so let's add those exponents up, and what do we get? 3. So this problem has a degree of 3, this term. Okay, so let's look at the next one. X cubed y squared plus 3x squared plus 2y to the 4th minus 8. Now, we've learned that our numbers have zeros, so I don't really need to worry about those. I'm looking at our letters, okay? And I'm going to see that they each have one. There's none that need that 1 up at the top, and I'm going to add them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? Now, I want you to see how I added all of these up and I got 11. Well, why is the answer 5? Okay? Well, I'm going to explain that, okay? I'm going to explain why it's not 11. Now, notice here that this is a monomial. It's not separated by addition or subtraction. It is not a polynomial. It's just the degree of the term, okay? Now, here I can see that this is a term, this is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. So the degree of this term is 5, the degree of this term is 2, and the degree of this term is 4, and the degree of this term is 0. Okay? Well, when I'm asking for the degree of a polynomial, then I just take the degree, the highest degree of the term. So this, in this case, it equals 5. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay? So this is the degree of the term. This is the degree of the term. This is the degree of a term. This is the degree of a polynomial, which we take the degree of the highest term. Okay? So let's go ahead and do skill check 2. I'm just going to call out the answer. So look at number 1, and you're going to give me the degree of the polynomial. 2 is number 1. Number 2, 7. Number 3, 2. You might have wanted to say 3, but remember that has addition and subtraction signs, so we're just taking the degree of the highest term. Number 4, 8. Number 5, 8. Number 6, 6. Okay, so let's move to example 1. That was a lot of work to get to example 1, wasn't it? Okay, example 1 says evaluate. Okay, that means solve. So x squared minus 6x minus 18 when x equals 7. Well, what do? We plug the 7 in anytime you see an x. So 7 squared minus 6 times 7 minus 18. 7 times 7 is 49. Minus 6 times 7 is 42. Minus 18. So that would be 7 minus 18. So that would be negative 11. Okay, you work this out and see if you get the same answer. Okay, make sure that you're doing the examples to make sure that you understand how to get here. If you just watch me, sometimes you go, that made sense, but then when you do it on your own, you don't understand. Come back and work this example, okay, and you might figure out where you're going wrong. Okay. Example 2, negative 3x cubed y plus 4x squared y squared when x equals 6 and y equals negative 2. Okay, if you want to pause it and work it and then let me work it to check your work, that's fine too. So I'm going to go ahead and take my 6 and my negative 2 and plug it in. Negative 3, 6 cubed, negative 2, plus, notice how I need to solve all of these, right? Order of operations, right? Before I combine it with this one. 4 times 6 squared, negative 2 squared. Okay? So now we just need to think about order of operations when we solve these problems. So I'm going to do my exponent first. Okay? 6 cubed. I don't have my calculator. Colton, do you have the calculator from last week? Can you bring it to me? Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36, and 36 times 6.
Oh, I do.
Let's see, that's 18, 19, 20, 21. 216. Okay? Thank you. All right, let me turn on my calculator here so you don't have to wait as long for me to do these problems. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. So I'm going to bring it down. Negative 3 times 216 times negative 2. Okay, so I'm just going to work left to right now. 216 times 3. And what's my answer is going to be negative because a positive and a negative make a negative. So negative 648 times negative 2. Two negatives, right, make a positive. So 648 times 2 equals 1,296. Okay? I'm going to just bring this plus sign down, and I'm going to work on this side. Okay? So 4 times 6 is 36. And then negative 2 times negative 2 equals positive 4. Okay? 4 times 36. 144 times 4. 576. Okay? So now I have a simple addition problem. 576 plus 1,296, and I get 1,872. Okay, girls, this is what your work should look like for one problem. If you just give me this, I don't think you did the work, right? Where's the work at? You cannot do this in your head. I don't want you thumbing things in on a calculator because then you forget or you make mistakes. I want you writing your work. When I'm checking your work, while we're doing online school, you're getting marked on if you show me your work or not. If you show me your work, good job. Even if you get the problem wrong, we can figure that out. If you're not showing me your work, you are not getting a full credit for that problem, even if you give me the right answer. Okay, so make sure you're showing me your work. All right, and not on a different page. It needs to look just like this. If this was number 1, this is what it should be like on your page, and then start number 2 down here. Okay? All right. So you should be ready to go. I would like for you to do numbers 1 through 36. Marco Polo me if you need help.